Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to start off chapter 1 of my life. Like I said, I've been kidnapped at gunpoint, beaten to death multiple times nearly. Had both my hands broken and fingers to save my life, being beat with a half-inch piece of rebar. Multiple near airplane crashes. And I'll start right from the start. When I was 13 to 14. Well, when I was 13 to 14 years age, I didn't know what a marijuana grow-op was. I didn't know anything about marijuana. My older neighbor pointed out that my shed in the backyard made a lot of noise and had some lights on in it. And then I figured out it was a marijuana grow-op. And that's kind of when I first kind of broke in, smoked a little weed. But at first I was super distraught because I thought it was a bad thing. And then my mom said, I was in my room acting weird. My mom said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "It's a legal grow-op in the back, Mom." And she said, "That's your dad's deal. Phone him." So he came over, basically told me to mind my own fucking business. What do you think pays for this house you live in with a 180-degree ocean view on the side of a mountain? You know, it wasn't bad growing up there. It was pretty fucking good. So eventually I got on board. Next thing you know, I'm taking care of the grow-op. Then I'm getting to keep all the small buds, and all the top buds were going for sale at the market. And all the small buds I'd get my buddies to trim. And I'd sell them at school, joints at school, 3 for $10 or whatever, what have you. I had 3 vehicles in high school. I had a Jeep Cherokee, a Jeep CJ7, and a Mustang. And that was good. I got my motorcycle license first before my driver's license, because with the graduated program, that's how it works. I was able to get my skills test on my motorcycle. So I had a little Enduro Honda 185 XL. And I drove that to school first before I got my car license. But once I got my car license, I got a job after school at a Chinese restaurant, being a sous chef / delivery driver. And it opened at 4:30 p.m. and I got off school at 3, so I had a leeway to smoke a couple joints before work. And then I got to work. My boss loved me, hardest working Chinese man I ever met in my life. He worked all day long at a produce manager at a big box grocery store kind of thing. And then after that, he'd come and work to the restaurant till midnight. And I give him 1 joint a month, and it would last him all month, so he loved me for that. And it was funny because I smell like weed so much. When I was delivering the Chinese food, people asked me if I had any for sale. I said, "Yeah, I do. I'll give you a good deal, wholesale." And so I did. And people started just phoning and ordering Chinese food to get weed delivered, which my boss liked that, because there's sales for him, sales for me. Life's good. And so I got into doing a bit of that. And so yeah, it was good for everybody. And so moving on to, I kind of missed a step there. When I was 14, I went on a hunting trip with my father, my uncle, and his 2 sons. And we were in a fully loaded RV, about a 25-footer in the lower mainland, Vancouver area, Canada. And we had to load loaded down for about 2 weeks in the bush, full fuel tanks all around, propane, gasoline, what have you. Guns and ammunition to the tits. And as we're coming up to a T in the road, even before we got out of town, my uncle keels over and starts making this loud snoring sound. We're just going, hey, quit bucking around, quit bucking around. We thought he was doing a joke or something like that. And he hammered on the gas with his foot. Hell no, it was a massive heart attack. And as we're accelerating past 80 kilometers an hour towards a T in the road with a huge cement barrier in front of us, I yell at my cousin in the passenger seat because I'm facing backwards behind the passenger seat. And then my dad and my cousin are at the dining table behind the driver's seat. I yell at my cousin in the passenger seat, my younger cousin. I said, grab the wheel, try and make the fucking corner so we don't jump this thing and double it and God knows what would happen. Anyway, it was so loaded down with weight, we didn't budge an inch to make the corner at that speed. We jumped the barricade, got air. When we landed, the engine was full revving and the drive shaft was broken, so we weren't going anywhere. I was worried about propane tanks leaking and an explosion, so I yelled at my cousin, shut off the ignition. So he did. He listened to me to the T, and he was fast. I'll give him that. And I was proficient at, I was the first one up and at him. It all happened in slow motion. It was like it was snowing from all the shattered glass flying through the RV as we jumped the barricade. And so I jumped up, I tried to kick open the door, but it was blocked by a piece of cement, broken cement from the barrier. So that didn't work, so to no avail. So the window that was beside my chair was fairly big. I kicked out the rest of the window frame and we exited that way. A biker guy runs over, big gold ring on every hand. He goes, holy fuck, I've never seen an RV catch air like that before. And then my dad runs around and he runs around and assists my dad in giving my uncle CPR to no avail. He passed away right then and there. And it was just horrible for me watching my two cousins watch their father die and my dad watch his brother die. And, you know, I'm just the nephew, you know. So I asked my dad, what can I do to help? He says, count every gun that the cops take off the RV so we get all the fucking guns back. He counted at 12, 14, something like that. There were a few more than that. And I think in every jacket my uncle had, there must have been a pistol in each pocket. Funnily enough, he worked in the movie biz, and he had some brought up from the States and this and that. Where he got them from or how he got them, but he got them. And so we ended up with all his equipment and the stuff because it had to go somewhere. And the boys were too young to take it. And so my dad took it, being the other brother that hunted. And the other brother was a doctor, and he's still a doctor. And his sister didn't want to take it, so the whole family met up at the hospital. We were able to donate his eyes so that 2 people could have sight again. That's the positive side of this story. The rest is just fucking terrible. And yeah, I remember having a joint hidden. I brought one joint. And I was panicked about the cops catching me with that. My cousin says, just shut the fuck up. Don't worry about the one joint. That's a joke. I said, okay. Oh. And how was that? It's just one terrible fucking hunting trip. And that would happen to me at 14 years old. And when I got home from that, I took that joint. I was smoking it in my basement. My mom came down. She's so "Man, what are you doing?" I said, "Mom, I've been through a lot. I'm smoking a fucking joint." She goes, "Okay." So there's that story. We'll move on and up.